Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 31st of January 2019. So welcome to this last trading day of this January. So yep, and welcome to this afternoon session, of course. As always, we're going to have a look at the markets, a few charts, but before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then guys, let's quickly jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on here is the S&P 500. Now looking at this chart, of course, overall you can see that the index was trading below this downside resistance line taken from the highs of 3rd of October up until yesterday, and you can see that the index managed to close above that, but kind of closed still below this key important area of resistance near the 2,685 level that we had marked here, and that level was last time tested here back on the 12th of December. So in a way, for now, what we're going to do here is, of course, we're going to continue monitoring this one, looking at the cash index where it's trading right now. We might see a bit of an open lower here below the yesterday's close, so keep your eyes on that one. So it's going to be very important to see how today's daily candle and where exactly it's going to end. If it's going to end above this 2,685 level, this is good. This could be good news for the bulls. I mean, we could see this one traveling further up here, but if this suddenly decides to close below this downside resistance line, now this is where we should remain cautious and careful, because we could see maybe this one sliding further down. But as you can see by the arrow that I've got drawn here on my chart, what we're keeping an eye on, of course, for us to, let's say, consider further declines here, we would need to see a drop below this area here, below this potential good area of support near the 2,650. So a nice good drop below this could then lead towards further declines, and the level that I've got marked here as a next good potential area of support could be around here to the 2,570 level, marked here by the low of the 14th of January. Of course, don't get me wrong, I mean, there could be some good pit stops on the way here, like for example this one, right? Let me just quickly mark that for our future reference here. This is what I'm talking about here, the 2,610 level, approximately there, guys. So this could be that little hold up near this area, because this is where the 20 SMA within this Bollinger Band could coincide with this level, and like I said, this is where the price could stall initially. But for now, of course, this is in terms of the downside, but for now, of course, keep an eye on this downside resistance line. Let's see how this plays out. For the upside, again, I will repeat myself, the 2,685 level, this is where we're keeping a close eye on. Certainly we could see a push further up here, and if we jump into the 4-hour chart quickly on this one, we could find some good potential areas of resistance here on the way higher, and certainly initially aiming maybe for this little area here. Let me just quickly put an arrow here. So this little high that we saw here on the 7th of December, this highest point of the 7th of December could play out as well. The 2,710 level, only about 25 pips, 25 points away from where it is, from this breaking point, the 2,685. So certainly, of course, if that doesn't hold, if this fails to withhold the bulls from pushing this higher, then yep, we could see further acceleration to the upside. But for now, guys, like I said, judging from where the cash index trading right now, it is slightly declining, so we could maybe see a bit of an open lower here here from the yesterday's close. So keep your eyes on this one, be very careful, and keep an eye on this downside resistance line, and on the downside keep an eye on the 2650 level. If this gets a nice push below this, then yep, we could start targeting slightly lower levels. Jumping into platinum. Now, I was talking about this one this morning, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this level right here, the 819. So today we already had a nice pop here to the upside, managed to reach this key area of resistance here near the 825 level, from which you can see that the commodity reversed back down, even actually managed to reverse all the way back towards the 819 level. But as you can see, it also this time it played a very nice important role of being the good area of support. And certainly for now, you can see that now the commodities is stuck here below this 825 level, but above this key area of now support 819 level. So what we're gonna do here is, of course, we're gonna now monitor this 825 level. If we do get another push here higher, the other level that we're going to be keeping a close eye on is the 831 zone, approximately there, marked near the highs of the 7th of January this year. So basically, guys, for now, certainly we did have a nice push higher here today. So the next level that we're keeping a close eye on is the 831, but for that one we need to see a nice good pop above the 825 level first, and then we'll target higher levels. On the downside, if this, let's say, suddenly decides to drop back down below the 819 level, then well, we could in a way start looking at 815, or even actually going all the way here to test this. In a way, a bit of a tentative, but nevertheless something that to watch out for. This upside support line taken from the lows of the 28th of January, this very short-term upside support line, you could in a way keep an eye on that one. But if it gets broken, then yep, the more important area that we're watching here is the 808 level. So you can see that here it was held nicely here back in the beginning of this week. So could be an interesting level, this one. But again, for such a test of this 808 level, we would need to see initially, of course, the price dropping below the 819 level, and then going all the way lower here and breaking this very short-term upside support line. Jumping into gold quickly now. Gold had a nice run, still it is having a nice run. So you can see that today it managed to push away from its pivot, which was around the 1317 level, and managed to reach the R1, which was around the 1326 level. And also a couple of videos ago I was talking about this 1326 level, to watch out for that one, because this was the high that we saw here back in let me just quickly put this back in May 2018, guys. So this high that we saw on the 11th of May, you can see that it's kind of currently having a nice hold up here near that level, near the 1326. And certainly for now, the big question here is, are we going to see a continued push higher, maybe towards the R2, which is around the 1331, or actually is this going to hold for today, and maybe we see a little bit of a slide here back down towards the pivot, and of course something may be left for tomorrow. But again, let's say in order to kind of consider higher levels now, we need to see a nice good push above the 1326 level first, and then we will aim for higher levels. But for now, you can see that the price is getting held here near this level. So let's see what it wants to do. But in order for us, let's say, start considering lower levels, we would need to see a drop below this 1317 level, and also, for better confirmation, a drop below this level right here, just slightly lower, the 1316. I do understand it's only $1 difference, but still you can see that this was the 1316 was a nice area of support, a resistance here back yesterday, and of course now this could play out as a nice area of support. And if we do get a drop here below this, then yep, further declines could be possible. But then again, like I said, for now, let's not rush into things like that. Let's see what it wants to do initially with the 1326, and let's see where the commodity is going to end the day today. So Jumping into a few pairs now quickly. So the Aussie dollar, now looking at this one, and just bear with me one moment, let me just jump into a daily chart on this one, and you can see this is what's happening here right now. So basically we're trading here above this long-term downside resistance line taken from the highs of January last year. Of course, some would say maybe it's a bit of a tentative one just because we do have a bit of an empty space here, but nevertheless you can see that it played out nicely here, and we managed to have a nice pop here today and managed to break it to the upside. But the only problem here is that the pair is kind of currently getting held near the 0.7277 level approximately here, and that level here was last time tested, or should I say last time it acted as a very nice area of support back here in December, in the beginning of December. So now this time it's taking the role of being a good area of resistance. So basically, and also what you can see here by the chart, in a way what we could see here, if this continues to hold, if the 0.7277 level continues to hold, we could see maybe a slide back down. But if the pair fails to drop below this this downside resistance line, get back below it, if it fails to do that, then we could see in a way maybe a nice rebound here, and maybe a push back up here. But in other words, what we need to see here is basically a nice good break above the 0.7277 level, and then we'll target higher levels. Certainly another very good potential area of resistance could be seen here near this 0.7395 level, approximately there. On its way higher, it could find some good areas of resistance as well. Maybe one of them could be here near the 0.7325, as it was marked here by the intraday swing low of the 4th of December. Now we could see a test of that, the 0.7325 level that I was talking about. But again, for now guys, just let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see what he wants to do with the 0.7277, if he wants to pop above it or not. And if we do see a move higher, then yep, the R1 is the next potential level for today, or even, like I said, the 0.7225 level that I was talking about. So keep 0.7325 level that I was talking about. So keep your eyes down. On the downside, well, as you probably guessed it correctly, we need to see a reversal, strong reversal back down below this downside resistance line, and a drop below the 0.7240 level right here, guys. So basically that was marked here by near the highs of 11th of January. So this time it will play the role of being a nice area of support. But if this gets broken and the rate drops below this 0.7240, well, we could see maybe a further slide back down. The only thing is that probably the bears should not get too excited yet, because we could see a further slide here lower, and if we start breaking the 0.7205 level, well, this is when it could be maybe interesting to see the pair traveling further down here and testing this this upside support line here, taken from the lows of January, or should I say lows of the 3rd of January this year. So this upside support line could play out as well nicely, but again, in order to kind of consider much lower levels, we need to see a drop here below the 0.7240 level first, and then we will aim for lower levels. But for now, the downside is slightly off the table. And jumping into EURGBP, now this one is a very tricky one because it continues to travel higher. Yes, it is interesting to see how strong it looks this week, and basically the only problem is now is finding a good area of resistance near the 0.8765 level. You can see that last time this acted as a very nice area of support here back on the 17th and the 18th of January. So the big question here is, of course, are we going to get a nice pop here or not? Looking at the 4-hour chart right now, it seems that this is where the rate is kind of getting held right now, but it does have still potential to travel a little bit further. And you can see that looking at this 4-hour chart, to be honest, this is a bit of a bullish formation here, and if we do get a nice pop here, then the next potential target that we've got here is the R2, and this target, of course, is for today, the R2, which is around the 0.8790 level, which is also not far from the 100 EMA here shown as the green line. So again, guys, the 0.8765 level, this is what we're watching right now. A nice good push above this could open the path towards higher levels, but if this continues continues to hold, we could see maybe a bit of a correction here back down. But again, in order to, let's say, start considering slightly lower levels here or seeing a bit of a deeper correction, we would need to see a nice good drop below this low here that we saw here today, and that was approximately around the 0.8730 level. So, and just let me just mark that for us right now here. This is, like I said, what we're talking about, what I'm talking about. So the 0.8730, this could be that little gateway towards slightly lower levels. The only problem is for you guys to just kind of watch out for this upside tentative support line. Now, this is what could come into play, and this upside support line is taken from the low of the 25th of January. So in a way, even if we're going to drop below the 0.8730, we still need to watch out for this upside support line. But if this upside support line gets broken, now this is where it could become even more exciting for the bears, and we could see further declines here, maybe going back here towards the lows of last week. But for now, judging by the picture that we're seeing here right now, it seems that the downside is slightly off the table. But again, with the upside could get limited near the R2 here, especially if this decides to break the 0.8765 level today. So keep your eyes on this one, guys. Very interesting. But again, it's already for this week. It already had a nice rally to the upside. Let's see if it actually manages to slow down somewhere around here, either here where it is right now, or maybe a little bit higher near this R2. So keep an eye on that one. And the last pair I wanted to quickly touch on, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but just to kind of show you, basically I was talking about this one in one of my videos, and basically I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this these levels right here, the 109.10 on the downside and the 110 on the upside. So basically we had a nice break yesterday here through the lower side of it, through this lower side of this range that the pair was kind of stuck in from around mid-January, but now it's kind of moving lower, currently getting held here near the 108.50 level. But to be honest, there is still some potential to move further down, maybe not today, but maybe something for tomorrow. And the next potential good area of support that we're keeping a close eye on is the 107.75. Keep on that one, keep your eyes on that one. That was marked by the lows of the 10th of January. But if this suddenly reverses back up here and travels back above the 109.10 level, now, well, this is where we're gonna just remain neutral, because for us to, let's say, consider much higher levels here in the near term, we need to see a nice good pop above the 110 level first, and then we'll target much higher levels. But for now, like I said, guys, it seems that it's more bearish than bullish, and we could maybe see a bit of retracement back up. But let's say if it does retrace right now back up but fails to kind of drive above the 109.10, this is where the bears might step in again and push the pair back lower here, maybe even like I said, going all the way here towards the 107.75, marked by the lows of the 10th of January. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. Very interesting pair, very interesting developments. If you found it useful, I'm really happy for that, guys. So thank you very much for watching and listening. And if you want to join me tomorrow morning at my Traders Espresso, and that's 7 o'clock GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.